and there's hope. I'm my best self again, so there is hope. I wanted to let you know I'm married to my high school sweetheart. I met him when I was 17, when I was diagnosed with MS, and here we are almost 29 years later being married, 37 years knowing each other, and we just have a fabulous life. And our passion is ice hockey.
Ice hockey.
Ice hockey. Yes. Oh yeah. We had 3 games this weekend and we won all of them. So bam, our son plays at Arizona State University. So we're very, we feel very grateful for that.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Now, what about you?
So 3 things to know about me. I have been a single mom of 2 for about 2 years. I got divorced 2 years ago. I've been living in North Dakota and been living in the US for the past 18 years. So I'm almost past my teenage years as far as living here. I became a citizen last year, by late. And I love to dance and experience life in various adventures. I love wellness, anything stress management, stress mastery, that's sort of neuroscience. That's kind of my nerdy thing. Yes. And with that being said, we said we would talk about our why, and that it's not necessarily easy, and we tend to brush it off to the side and get to the next thing, right? And so we'll talk about the why and what. Oftentimes we kind of have an idea what we want. And that's the what is something that our most advanced part of the brain fixates on. That's something we focus on and something that we like to stick to. However, that's only about 5% of our mind that is able to focus. And if you imagine our mind as a whole, 100%, about 95% of it is non-conscious or subconscious mind that doesn't necessarily play well with logic. It's like if you think of a tip of an iceberg, you know, our what, or the 5% that we think we want, is very small, right? And our subconscious mind, where we have our emotions and everything else, is that dictates how we get there, or, you know, our passion and our purpose and how we connect to what we want. And tonight, we're gonna tap into that emotional part of our why, because why is very emotional. And Kim said it's something that should make us cry. And in the past, I thought, you know, okay, my family makes me cry, and this makes me cry. But it has to go deeper. It has to go really to the point of driving us past all the inconveniences, all the setbacks, and everything else. And when I first started this business 7 years ago, I had this practical mom hat on with my practical mom's whys. So, you know, think of like the shoes that go with everything, or just, you know, a shirt that will not wrinkle and will go through any sort of a disaster, you know, just kind of a bland why in a sense. And it didn't drive me very far. It was actually, when it came to thick of it, it wasn't strong enough. And I'll give you an example of a strong and a weak why for my personal life. So I am living in a house that is pretty big. And last year, because I don't need this much space, my friend suggested to me that it would be a great idea to have an extra income by subletting or renting part of the house. Mm. So I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. So how do you suggest, you know, we go about that? And he goes, well, you know, you could just remodel the basement and rent it out. And my logical part, that 5% of my brain said, oh, that sounds like a good idea, but my heart really wasn't in it. And then I had some people lined up and who said that would help. And so I just went through with that. And it was actually really hard, because when it came to it, people just didn't show up. And I had to do a lot of the repainting myself. And let me tell you that because my heart was not really in it and my why wasn't strong, what ended up happening was I did that, but I struggled and I felt frustrated. I felt resentment and things were not going smooth. And end of, last fall, it ended up flooding. We had a lot of flooding in this area. So all the work that I did was then jeopardized by all kinds of things. So it was a struggle all the way through. And then compare that to a different situation. So as I was rethinking my business and really what were my obstacles, I decided that actually living in this house was actually very straining on my resources, time, money, and expertise I didn't have. So I decided I'm going to put my house on the market so that I can free up my resources to focus on business and what I really wanted in life. And what happened was, as soon as I decided that this is what's going to happen, it's like a boulder just like released. I felt much lighter. And then I called up my real good friend, and she came over and she said, this is what you need to do. And she gave me a laundry list of things. And I said, oh my goodness, I don't even know where to begin. This is a lot. I know nothing about fixing houses. So, but because I was so motivated and my why was so strong, what ended up happening in a matter of probably a month and a half, I repainted most of my house inside and out. And it was really fun because it was a different energy, because my why was telling me this is what I need to do to create a different life for myself. My motivation was in a different space, and it didn't feel like working at all. I worked hard. I worked physically very hard. I didn't have everything figured out, but I would just ask questions. I would just go to Menards all the time and different stores. And it was the imperfect action that kept moving me forward. And in the month and a half, I had my house pretty much fixed. There are just some minor things before I place it on the market in the next probably 3 weeks. But when I talked to my friend, she said, I didn't think you would pull it off. This is incredible. It's just like when I look at how your house was before and what you accomplished in a short period of time, that's beyond belief. And I had friends who would say, why would you do that? And yada, yada, yada. And you don't need to repaint. But when they saw the difference, they were amazed. And the energy that came out of it and through that and the confidence level that I gained was incredible. So that's just an example of a why that is weak or not aligned, and why where you are aligned and it's strong. It's resonating with you. I felt very differently about the second case because I knew exactly why I was doing it and what I was going to accomplish with that. So it's kind of hard to put into words, but that's how that went. And one takeaway from that why lesson was your why is very unique. And it's not meant necessarily to be impressing anybody else. It's not meant to be showing off to anybody or just comparing in any way. Right, Kim? Would you say that it's right? Yep.
Yes.
It has to be deeply, deeply personal. And I don't care if it's having a flying unicorn or something else. It has to be something that will drive you do what you don't think you're capable of, because you just are so thrilled by the vision of what you're creating. And so, Kim.
Yes.
How easy or difficult it was for you to come up with your why? What was your journey to come up with your why? You said that
to ask myself questions over and over and over again. I've been in LifeVantage now for 6 years. Mm-hmm. And just to tell somebody else my why, and to see, especially one of the sources of why I'm doing this, and to see what emotion it brings. Mm-hmm. So it really, it's, you have to be vulnerable and really on a mission to get to the bottom of it so that you can grow from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So it needs to touch you in all the deep places that really make you do things that you wouldn't even think you're capable in any way of doing. So
literally.
Yeah, literally. And that was exactly an example with with my house. I knew nothing about fixing houses. So we're going through, some of us on Maria's team are going through this specific neuro training. And we decided to kind of like talk a little bit more about some of the tools and tips how you can really sharpen your why. Because another thing, you guys, is that your why is not set in stone. It's not something that you have to have figured out today, right now, because it's an evolving thing. It's an organic thing, right? And so if you are ready, we will talk about this crystal ball tool. Should we, Kim?
Okay. We should. It's pretty powerful.
Let's do it. So if you don't have your why crystallized yet, if it's not crystal clear, imagine, or make sure you're sitting in a comfortable space right now. If you can, lean back, just relax a little bit. Even close your eyes if you trust me. If you don't feel comfortable, you don't need to, and take a deep breath right now. And take another deep breath. And now imagine, extend your hands as if you're going to receive something. And imagine I'm giving you 2 crystal balls, one in each hand. They're equal weight, they're equal size, they're exactly the same. In your left hand, imagine you're looking into this crystal ball and you see your life as is right now, your business life. All the activities that you do or don't do, all the decisions that you make every day, and all the things that you accomplish or not, and what happens when you do or don't do what you are doing correctly, and you keep going the same direction. And fast forward to 1 month, and then 5 months, and see what happens in 1 year mark. Do you see that? Do you see that? Do you see what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cloudy, maybe. I don't know if it makes you happy, but do you see maybe the incentive trips are you missing? You're missing? Maybe the cars or the houses or the dreams that are still far to reach. Okay, and kind of lock into that feeling. How does that make you feel? Now take another deep breath. And let's look at the other ball that you're holding in your right hand. When you look inside that ball, things are different. Your dreams are coming through. You're actually changing your mind. You're growing. You're making daily shifts, and you're seeing the results. You're seeing growing team. You're seeing recognition in your near future. You're seeing hitting different incentive points. You're seeing bigger checks in your account. Your dreams are slowly and surely coming true. There is a lot of joy and a lot of excitement in that crystal ball. How does that make you feel? Lock into that feeling. Hold it. Now I'm going to ask you, which of these 2 are ringing true? Which of these 2 balls are you identifying with? Which of these 2 just feel closer to who you are? Which one will drive you? So the one that is not it, just imagine you're dropping it, you're shattering it, you're dropping the ball, and boom, it's gone. It's broken to a million pieces. And the one that is exciting you, the one that is yours, just grab it and place it close to your heart. And just kind of like imagine you're rubbing it close and holding it close to your heart. And take a couple more deep breaths. And lock on this feeling. Okay, now you can open up your eyes. This is one of the tools that we are taught to use to identify our life, help us get closer to the feeling of it. So Kim, which ball did you choose?
I chose the second ball because I lived in that world of not able to be my best self for so many years, and kind of being not an independent person and out of control. So the thought of now being in control and delivering and being my best self and a person of action and making things happen and making my dreams come true is much more powerful for me.
Absolutely. And I felt the same way. I've been living in that world of, practical mom and what I should be wishing for and what would people think if I wanted really this? Because it's not really me, I thought. And all of a sudden, when I heard the other example, I'm running towards joy. I'm running towards the better things instead of what I'm missing out. The fear is not the world where I want to live anymore. But there are some people, there's no right or wrong. I just want to make it clear.
Yes.
It's something that we get to choose, and some people definitely gravitate towards that place of missing out on things, right? And it drives them, and it's okay. So just know that those are two options, and whichever resonates with you more, practice that. And
the idea of missing out this year.
Yep.
That's something that I do not want to do. Definitely. So that is, I find myself wavering kind of back and forth, but the more prominent ball is in the right hand.
Yes, I would agree. So the next, I have a series of questions that we can ask ourselves when we are trying to determine or kind of put together our why. And Kim can help me answer those. Right? So Kim.
Okay, I hope so.
So you set a goal, and why do you want to achieve that goal, whatever that goal is?
Okay. Why do I want to? You want to know what a goal, an example of a goal is?
Yep.
Okay, so what my number one goal is to give back massively the gift that was given to me. And so, I didn't have a lot of hope. I was not my best self. I was fatigued. I was cognitively impaired. I was not mobile. And, being that I am now, I just, someone's shared this gift with me, and I just have this burning desire to share it back with people in any way I can, whether it be through a friend of yours that talks to me, and then she is open to the idea of being activated. So, that's a really huge, massive, massive goal of mine. My number one goal.
Okay. But let's ask more questions, because we want to get as deep as we can to kind of clarify our why. Because the clearer we are, the better the why will drive us, right? Yes. So what will that do for you? What impact will it have on you and your family or your loved ones?
Not much. No, that's just the personal satisfaction of impacting people. So,
how will it make you feel then? How will it make you feel once you achieve that result?
That's kind of an evergreen, why. So I'm never going to really achieve that, but knowing that I help people is fills my heart. I mean, it makes me feel like I'm able to contribute again, that I'm able to, make an impact on people's lives. And that's what's better than that.
Yes. Okay. And why does it matter? Why does it matter that you would accomplish that goal that you set out? It sounds all the same, but there are just subtle nuances that will help us when we.
Why does it matter? It matters because I'll get up every day with the desire and the passion to continue to share.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. There are other questions that we can ask, such as, how will you feel about yourself when this is your reality, right? That's another question we can ask. Or what will it mean to you and to your loved ones? So if you were to get, if you're
well, and maybe I need to move on to a different goal that's pretty is really close second to that. And that goal is to give back to this man that I've known since I was 17 years old, that's been with me. And he's been through a lot with someone with MS for, 30 years when this was shared with me. I want to give back, tirelessly working and helping at home and all of this. I want to give back to him that time freedom and that financial freedom. And I want to, our biggest passion is our kids and being a part of their future lives, and knowing that I can provide, that now I'm my best self, and that I can build a multi-million-dollar business that I can will to them and go on to their children, and that we can do whatever we want, whenever we want, and to give back to them motivates me to my core.
That is huge, and I feel that some people who struggle with how to put together their why, I didn't know where to begin at some point. So you can kind of reverse engineer. You can start with how you want to feel, right? You can start with general, how you want to feel versus how you feel right now. What would you like to feel in your ideal, no limits kind of a life? And then, what would it mean to feel like this, say, at work or with your health and different areas? And then kind of like crystallize it backwards. So that's what I mean by reverse engineering. So that would be one way to go about that as well. Now, Kim, what would you say is important for people to take away when they're starting their business? We have somebody on the call that is about to enroll as a distributor. And what are the important things to keep in mind for our why?
You need to remind yourself of your why, and it has to be such a burning desire that whatever obstacles come your way, whether it be the 20th no of the week, or no matter how beaten down you are, that you have that crystallized in your mind, and that you just say next and next and next, and go on to this brighter future with all that LifeVantage has to offer us, and that goal of helping so many, and the life of financial freedom. You just it has to be embedded in your brain every single day. And, however that is that you do that. And we're learning that through our neural tools and through all these gifts that are being shared with us in the last month and previously as well.
Right. And not putting any limits on
limit.
What you should want, or what you desire, what your heart is really asking for, right? Because it's like putting a weak engine into a strong car, because that weak engine won't get you very far. If you want to go far, you need to have a strong engine, and that strong engine is your strong why. So anything in conclusion, like if you look back, what were one of the same mistakes that you made as far as your why, like initially, assumptions or anything that you felt didn't understand well? I see a light. Sky is the limit, Kim said. Kim. Okay, so we lost Kim for a second, but essentially understanding that your non-conscious or subconscious mind is really the driver, your autopilot that you need to be speaking with. That's where your why is connecting. So it truly needs to be emotional. It's not something just for women or the emotional people, but it's something that will drive you more than just conscious knowing what to do. And there are people who, and mostly would be men, who are more likely to succeed just with having goals. But in general, we want to have emotionally strong reason why we're doing for what we're doing. Kim, are you back or did we lose you? Okay, so I don't see her connecting, but that would be in the essence what we wanted to cover today. If you have any more questions, if you struggle with your why, or if you don't feel that it's good enough, you need to answer a question. How strongly do I believe that I can have it, what I really ask for? If it's anything less than 7 on the scale 1 to 10, you might need to adjust your goals and what you want, because your why will not get you there. But definitely, if you need more help, do talk to your upline, do talk to people that you trust to help you walk through the process so you get more clarity and that you get more understanding of what you need. And it's not so much logical, but it truly is connecting with what you may have long forgotten. I have forgotten to dream for a period of time. I come from a former communist country and we were not really into dreaming. So your particular situation might be that. And we are right at the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. So this is what we wanted to cover for today. Thank you for your time and attention. Appreciate that. This call will be recorded, so if you missed that or you need to look at it again, you definitely will get access to the recording. Okay? With that, you have a great night, and we'll connect again next Sunday.